Hi guys, how are you?
Rachel,
Good.
good.
How are you?
Doing great. So, as someone who's from the suburbs of Pittsburgh, I heard one yins in the pilot and was like, okay, I got one yins in there because normally they avoid the accent like the plague. They're like, we're not touching this accent with a 10-foot pole.
What
But for
does
you,
that mean? Is that
yins
just
is
like
our y'all. It's just
it's
everybody.
y'all? Okay.
Yeah. It's and then you're a yinzer if you're from Pittsburgh. So it's a whole
Oh.
but
Oh,
you guys, when you are, filming this show and it's Pittsburgh has a lot of landmarks that is the city, like it's gray. And then the snow really made me be like, yes, this is a show about Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But how do you guys kind of navigate making the city itself work for your characters and help you guys build them out?
Um, so are we allowed to be like, so it was not in, you know that, yes.
I Yeah, that's
Well,
fine.
I'm so glad that you were able to see it and say, oh no, this is definitely giving Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
Um, I
yeah.
think that's so interesting because we didn't really talk about that much because I think we were so focused on this like cultural aspect of it, but the culture goes beyond the Brown family. It's about this. I mean, the city is literally in the title.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it was definitely very cold. I imagine it gets also very cold in Pittsburgh. Uh,
Yeah,
and there
it's
was scenes that we would shoot when it was supposed to be winter and or it was supposed to be not winter, and they would shovel all the snow to other houses and keep just the house that we're shooting like clear, which is so jarring to see. I don't know, Sindhu, do you want to talk more about that?
Yeah, it was. I think for me, it was like, well, because, the show is very close to Visual's own experience. So we were like, you can do the Pittsburgh of it
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
You're dealing with this 4 feet of snow. What is happening? And, there were scenes we had to do in the snow to be very authentic. We're not wearing anything but cotton clothes.
Mhm.
So to be very honest, as much as I would, all due respect to Pittsburgh, I was not thinking, is this giving Pittsburgh? I was thinking, am I going to get pneumonia?
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
and we had like all kinds, and by the way, production did a great job. We had all kinds of hot pads strapped to our bodies and this, that. We were still not wearing any jackets. So I'm so happy to hear that being from Pittsburgh, you were like, yeah, that gave Pittsburgh. Great.
Great. Didn't think about it
Yeah.
though.
Well, yeah, exactly, because and also a lot of the entire series is around the house.
Mm,
And we didn't really go anywhere else really that would have been in the city that you would know, you know?
mhm. Yeah.
So I'm glad that they got that
Well,
right.
I mean, we do have some scenes where we're going out and all you see are other white people there. So I guess that's reflective of being that.
Yeah, like the police, and I mean other things which I don't know if we can give away, but anyway.
When Sana, I have to ask, I do love this young teenage girl who comes to America and literally is like, I'm putting on music that probably has swear words and just throwing myself into the American mindset the minute I get off of a plane. For you, when you get to play a character like that who is an immigrant who is just kind of throwing herself into what she thinks American teenagers are like before she ever actually meets one. What was the fun of, especially in that pilot, showing her go through that part of coming to America?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think when I was younger, I remember going to India as a kid and we had like styrofoam that we were playing with. And I threw it up in the air and I was like, it's snowing. And they're like, what? What is snow? And I was like, whoa. And that was a huge cultural shock to me when I was like, you guys don't know what snow is? But now everything's on TikTok, everything's online, everyone's watching like the same TV shows. Everyone knows what snow is, even at that age. And it just shows that like my cousins and I now talk about the same stuff and like the same TV shows and memes and songs even. And so Banu comes to America already being like, they have Megan Thee Stallion here. I love her, and not being like, who is that? And I think that's very real. It's very reflective of today.
Yeah, and I love it. And Sindhu, I also love it's a very funny bit, but it also takes a lot of acting to make people believe that when her husband says just her name, she gets full sentences out of what this man is saying with just her name. And it's the more it goes on, the bit gets funnier, but it's like, yeah, you guys are really acting out, like having this whole sentence go between the two of you. How much of that was actually like, did you guys put in the acting work of like, well, here's the full sentence that he was saying, or how much of it was just like messing around as actors?
I think because that joke is so, ca- it's not an easy thing to deliver, to make it
Mm-hmm.
believable, as you said. So I also, as a stand-up, I'm extremely respectful of writing. Unless the writer or director says you can move away from these lines, I don't do it because I'm a writer. If I'd written that script and anyone said any other word, I'd be like, the joke is trash now. I have that thing. So because the joke had to be, it was hard to deliver and make it believable. The writing was so good. I stuck with the script, but I do remember my parents. My mother would say to my dad, listen. She would just say, listen. And he would be like, the Coca-Cola is in the downstairs fridge. And I didn't used to think about it, but couples do have a shorthand.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this is absurd that it's this kind of shorthand, but I kind of thought a little bit about that. And then you just kind of ease into that space that this is how we are. And then you have these great lines and it works.
It really does. I love this family so much. Outside of just the Pittsburgh thing, I'm like, I love this family and their chaos. As soon as they get off the plane, it's so great. But thank you guys so much for talking with me today, and I can't wait for everyone to get to see the show.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you guys.